Hi, welcome to Simply Flavorful. Today we're making tonkatsu style ramen. Traditionally, the tonkatsu broth is made with pork marrow bones and browned aromatics that are simmered for hours and hours. The broth is rich in flavors and white and creamy in color. I wish I could have this ramen more often, but I don't have the time to cook it the traditional way. Luckily, I learned an easy and quick method to make this amazing broth from a Japanese chef. This recipe imitates and achieves the traditional flavors by adding layers of ingredients on top of each other. So let's get started. Toast a quarter cup of white sesame seeds on medium heat for 4 to 5 minutes or until lightly browned and fragrant. Grind them into powder and set aside for later use. The first layer of flavors are the aromatics. The next layer of flavors are the fats. I'm using butter in place of pork fat and toasted sesame oil for extra nuttiness. The flour will give the broth its body. We'll add more flavors by adding the following soy sauce, grinded sesame seeds, miso paste, and the bonito soup style granules, which are all traditional ingredients of the tonkatsu broth. For the liquid, we'll use low sodium chicken broth and the milk to give the broth its color and creaminess. Since all the aromatics of the broth are browned traditionally, we'll start by charring the shallots first. Add the fats, garlic, and ginger. Let them toast on medium-low heat until golden brown. Browning the butter and aromatics gives the broth a more robust flavor and richness. Adding the flour and cook for a minute or two, just like making a roux. Then add the grinded sesame seeds, miso paste, soy sauce, the bonito granules, and the chicken broth. Whisk until well incorporated. Bring everything to a boil and then let it simmer for 15 minutes. Add the milk, mix well and bring it back to a boil. Then turn off the heat. Strain the broth through a sieve and keep it warm. This broth is so creamy and rich. The flavors are very close to the broth that is cooked for many hours, but this was done in half an hour. Bring a pot of water to a boil and season it with salt, just like cooking pasta. Cook the noodles according to its package instructions. What I use here is the Japanese ramen noodles. Strain the noodles well. Ladle plenty of broth over the noodles. This noodle dish is usually served with soft yolk eggs, pork, and other toppings. What I have here are wood ear mushrooms, pickled ginger, braised bamboo shoots, pan-fried spam, and julienne scallions. But feel free to add whatever you like as a topping. If you are a ramen lover, I hope you give this recipe a try. You'll be amazed how simple and flavorful this is. Here's the recipe for making soft yolk eggs. Bring everything to a boil, then turn off the heat and let it cool to room temperature. These are cold and refrigerated eggs. Add water halfway up. And bring everything to a boil and keep boiling for exactly 3.5 minutes. Then turn off the heat immediately and let the eggs sit in the hot bath for additional 3 minutes. And meanwhile, prepare a tub of ice water. After 3 minutes, empty the hot water. Give the eggs a gentle shake to slightly crack the shells. Plunge them into ice water to stop the cooking, and let them sit in the water for 10 minutes. Add the sauce we made earlier. Make sure the eggs are submerged, and chill them overnight. The egg white is perfectly cooked through, and the yolk is still soft and runny. Here's the recipe for making the braised bamboo shoots. Simmer them on medium-low heat for 30 minutes. And refrigerate overnight. Here's how to rehydrate the woodier mushrooms. I hope you give this recipe a try, and please follow me on Instagram and send photos if you try any of my recipes. Thank you for watching, and see you next week.